D-Link E15 AX1500 Mesh Range Extender Review. On paper, the D-Link E15 AX1500 Mesh Range Extender Dual-Band Wi-Fi Range Extending Router is a good choice. However, if you're looking for something faster, a different router might be right for you. With the D-Link E15 AX1500 Mesh Range Extender, you can extend the coverage of your wireless network by up to 300 feet. Plug it into one wall socket and it broadcasts a second network for access points outside its range. It doesn't pretend to be the fastest extender in the business. Maximum connection speeds are 300 megabits per second on the 2.4 GHz frequency and 1200 megabits per second over 5G HZ, while rivals such as D-Link E15 can go up to twice as fast. However, the E15 supports Wi-Fi 6, so it won't slow down too much when there's lots of traffic. It looks similar to many other mesh range extenders I've tried, but it has the advantage of having a relatively narrow footprint. So, it doesn't completely block the adjacent power socket. On the back, you'll see a big, clearly labeled WPS logo, and underneath that, you'll find an Ethernet port. The flip-down aerials look a bit flimsy, but overall, it looks good, and the 3-section signal strength meter is a nice addition. There aren't too many options when managing an E15. However, you can use a web portal or D-Link Siegel Pro AI smartphone application to set up your network. Either method has very few settings to configure. You don't even have to do this if you're using a D-Link Eagle Pro. Just enable mesh mode at the Eagle Pro and it will automatically discover. For testing, I used the D-Link E10 for downloading files from the D-Link R15. The latter provided faster download speeds at shorter distances, but the connection became slower when we moved further away. Installing an E15 in the hallway in the middle of my house certainly helped. Before installing the E15, my router was averaging a download speed of 41 megabits in the room where I slept. After installing the E15, the average speed increased to 160 megabits. Unfortunately, that strong performance was not maintained in other rooms. In my kitchen, my internet speed only increased from 44 megabits per second to 57 megabits per second, while the bathroom experienced a slower increase, from 28 megabits per second to 35 megabits per second. The worst result was when we switched from the R15 network back to the E15. We saw similar results from other expensive products, but the best boosters could increase performance throughout the house. An excellent product for boosting Wi-Fi throughout the entire house is the D-Link E7020. It provided an average speed of 218 megabits per second at the same location. We were disappointed by the E15's performance. While it gave us faster wireless speeds in some locations, the benefits weren't significant enough for us to notice them. On paper, the D-Link E15 AX1500 Mesh Range Extender is a good enough router. In practice, however, I found it unreliable compared to the competition. For example, it was often unable to connect reliably to my home network, and it seemed to drop connections more frequently than the competition. You may find that the Linksys AC1200 dual-band Wi-Fi and 300R2 does a better job overall, especially if you live in an area where coverage is spotty.